Alright guys, here we are at the field. It's another really windy day to fly, but we're gonna fly this little jet anyway because it looks so incredibly cool. Doesn't it look like the F-22 Raptor? Or is it another jet? Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think about this? It has no landing gear on the bottom, so we can't really do a wheel type of takeoff, but I will do a hand toss. We're gonna toss it in stabilized mode because, hey, it has a flight controller on there, so it'll give us auto stabilization. The other thing that it doesn't have is ailerons on here, so it only has like elevons in the back, up, down, left, and right. So we also don't have a rudder back here, so that's another thing to keep in consideration. Brush motors on the bottom, dual brush motors, and it has several different flip functions on here. You can do a loop, and I also did an outside loop earlier on accident, so it'll fly at the ground depending on which stick you have pressed up or down. So when you press for a loop, make sure you're pressing back down on the stick, on the right stick, so that it goes up and around. If you press forward and you're in forward flight, it's going to do a down loop, so be careful with that, and make sure you're super high up when you do your loops. And it'll also do barrel rolls if you push to the side, left or right. Let's go ahead and turn this on. I have this on ready to go, and I'm going to make sure that this is stable because it does have an onboard gyro inboard on the plane, so make sure everything's level. I'm going to leave it there about 10 seconds. Should be good now. We're going to go ahead and take the throttle, go up to the top and then back down, and that should get my motors going. If you don't hear that work, you may need to do it again. Turn everything off. Mine didn't do it, so I'm going to turn it back on. Now it's looking for the plane, so we're going to go up, down, and now we're bound. We can use a little bit of throttle here, see if we got some throttle. We're good to go. It's windy as all get out right now, so we're going to just go ahead and toss it into the wind. Keep your fingers crossed. Here we go, guys. Very nice launch. And I'm not full throttle right now. I'm just kind of half throttle. And since it doesn't have ailerons, I gotta tell you guys, this thing turns pretty slow. If you're going off to the wind, it turns a little quicker. Into the wind, it's a little slower. You can give it a little more throttle to make it turn a little quicker. But all of your turning is on the rear of this jet, so that's the thing. I'll try to bring it in a little closer here. Bringing it back around for a pass by the tower, and I just cut the motor. Look at that, almost wants to hover. Isn't that cool? I'm gonna try not to hit the van or that tree. Let's not go into the tree. Oh no, it's going into the tree. Wow, that's super close. Could you guys tell how close that was? We almost have zero airspeed again. Check this out. This little guy looks like a blue angel right there. Wow, that's cool. Now full throttle up. Oh, giving it all she's got, you guys. Let's go. Now, going downwind, it's really fast downwind. Really, really fast. So let's go ahead and do a loop. Gonna see if it'll do a loop. Full throttle now. Don't try that too close to the ground. It's really fighting that wind though. Let's go full throttle, let's go up. Pull back on the stick, holding down that right button. You can also do a barrel roll. Let's try a barrel roll. Might be because I'm pointing the nose too high. Let's just come back around and try that again. It did it earlier. Now it's not one to do it, you guys. So I'm gonna press that right button. Let's press the left one, see if that works. Left button, maybe it's the left button for the roll. So I'm gonna pull back on the stick and try to do a loop. There, it kind of did. A loop, not really. Oh boy, one low to the ground. It just did two loops for some reason. We'll just go ahead and toss it back up. Get all the grass out of there. So now that I know it's the left button, let's try it on the left side. So let's go ahead and pull back on the stick. Loop. Nice. Awesome. Now we can try a barrel roll. It is the left button, not the right one. Those ailerons, those elevons are working pretty good. Now barrel roll. Barrel roll for me, baby. There we go. Whoa, almost straight into the ground. So you need a lot of height. Don't back off your throttle in your barrel roll. Coming back around, big wide Escalade turn. It turns like a big SUV. Okay, we're gonna press the left button again and barrel roll right above us. Whoa, it did an outside loop. So I was pulling back on the stick. That was crazy. You guys ever seen an outside loop? That doesn't happen very often unless it's a 3D plane. There we go. There's our big roll. Oh, right into the ground, but we nosed up but right before we hit, so no damage. All right, here we go. I launched downwind that time and I had no problem taking off. So it is brushed motors. It's not the fastest plane in the world, but for a beginner, man, if I had this when I was 12 years old, I would have been the happiest kid around. I mean, it really is like a little rocket. I'm gonna give it full throttle, nose into the wind. It's coming way back. The range is actually pretty good. It should be about 700 feet. Zero throttle right there. Let's see if we can get it to kind of hover into the wind. Isn't that cool? Check that out. Hovering a microjet. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Powering out of that. Let's go. That was cool. Let's try a barrel roll. Oh, God. Into the ground. So it does really large rolls. You have to be super high to do a roll. It doesn't do that really tight roll, but I think I'm getting like 10 minutes flight time out of this battery. I mean, this is a 1S battery, guys. It's not a huge battery. That is so cool. I like flying out here in the middle of the field better because there's trees behind me, so over by the van it's a little sketchy. It doesn't turn real fast. And right now, you know, this little guy is fighting this wind as hard as it can. And the gyro's kind of, you know, the gyro's acting up a little bit too, because when the wind's pushing on a plane like this, in that wind, it's fighting to stabilize it for you. Now we're gonna go straight up here. Oh, so there is a way to kill the motors. If you're way out there and you get scared that you're gonna have a flyaway or it's gonna go too far, if you long press this side, I thought maybe it would switch it out of stabilization mode, but it actually killed the motors. So that's kind of like a quick fail-safe there. And the gyro is still working. All right, guys, the onboard footage didn't work, so my VHB is just, I couldn't get enough engine power to get that little go-to up in the air, but we're just gonna go ahead and keep flying here. Just do a little bit more flying, and then I'll end up with some final commentary about this little jet. Nice launch again, and it's still really, really windy, so we're kind of like hovering in space right there, about half throttle, just cruising. And man, when she comes downwind, she's like a rocket. I keep wanting to give this a little bit of rudder, but it just doesn't have it. And sometimes to get it to turn faster, you have to kind of come up on the throttle. So just a tip for the guys that have bought this one. And honestly, I don't think you're gonna be able to crash this and break it very quickly because, you know, it's just so lightweight. And it's that really resilient, tough foam. So a little more throttle in there, making a faster turn. Now I'm gonna glide a little bit. A little high throttle, hopefully coming back to the field. It's always never a good idea to fly behind yourself. And always keep your back to the sun, by the way. If you're a brand new RC pilot, the #1 rule is always have your back to the sun. Because when you fly this little guy into the sun like I just did, man, you cannot see it at all. I feel like the flight time's pretty good too, though. I'm getting at least 10 minutes. Oh, look out for that tree. Man, I just cleared that big tree. I do have a cherry picker in my van for days like that. And today, you know, it's hard. It's hard today, you guys, because there's so much wind. Look at it way up there. And this little guy is just kind of powering through the wind, especially with that onboard stability. Almost zero airspeed again. Gonna make my way back over to the control tower over here. Come in for a close pass. A little higher throttle there to get out of that. Try to go around the tree. See if we can go around the tree. Uh-oh. Gonna hit a tree? Nope, just made it around. Man, that was lucky. Uh oh, pushing me into the tree. Look at it going to the left there. To the right, wow. So almost like a Harrier hover. That's pretty cool. Look at that. It is so windy, you guys. Holy crap. Just barely off the ground there. Look at that. That is cool. Let's walk up to it. You can almost hand catch this little guy. That is pretty awesome. Look at that. Is that a cool looking jet or what? That is so cool. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and see if we can't bring it in for a landing. Maybe one more attempt at a loop. Full throttle, straight up. All right, there goes our loop. Now let's try a barrel roll just for the heck of it. Let's try not to get hit with a disc. Uh-oh, into the tree. Man, this thing is like a giant paper airplane. Uh-oh, is it coming back? Where's it going? I'm gonna get hit by a disc over here. We're sharing a field with the disc golf guys. They seem to be getting a laugh out of it though. Yeah, this little guy's still in the air, doing his thing in all this wind, you guys. So I think it's pretty capable. Let's go ahead and give some final thoughts about this little guy. And I will just gingerly land it here in the ground, kill the motors. That was pretty cool. What a cool looking jet. Man, if you put some VHB on there, be careful because you will peel off your paint. There's a layer of paint over this whole jet. But what a fun jet to fly. Super fun, even in wind.